Alright. Hello, people of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my Instagram and welcome back to my world. My name is Adeline for those of you who aren't new here. And your girl is back. I don't even know how to introduce myself anymore because, I feel that when it comes to identity, it's such an interesting thing where you have a new identity to almost help you anchor into the next version of yourself. But then in order to step into this new identity, you have to let go of the past identity of what has brought you here. I feel like that's the life of a multidimensional being. If you truly are living up to your expression and potential is that you're constantly evolving, and what you call yourself a year ago might be very different from what you call now. And I feel that a big part of that initiation into the new identity is being able to dissolve all the old identity who have made you the person that you are today without being actually scrap that, because it's nearly impossible without being overly attached to that. Part of the growth and part of the initiation journey is letting go of that attachment and letting that part of you die so that you can step into who you are. Can you feel that the scorpionic energy is super strong as we just move past the Scorpio full moon and eclipse portal? And your girl also have very strong scorpionic energy in her chart. So transformations, death, rebirth, shedding skin over and over again is my jam. And just because it's my jam doesn't mean it gets easier, but it is what it is. It's my life work that I have embraced and accepted. And also it's my life's work to help people walk through their death portal so that they actually get to be who they're meant to be. So realized what I really want to talk about today is embodiment. I feel that this is a term that has been thrown around in the world of spirituality, in the world of feminine awakening. In my world, I talk about embodiment all the fucking time. And I feel that now that I have truly, fully embodied a lot of what I've learned, it's almost like, what does this word mean to me now? And so what I invite you is to take a moment, to take a deep breath, and take another deep breath, breathing deep into your belly. Feeling the fresh air, filling your belly, and hold there for about 3 seconds. And then ask yourself, what does embodiment means to you? When I'm embodied, what does it mean? How does it feel? And write that down, anchor that in, because that's your answer as to what embodiment means. Here is what I find very interesting in the self-development world and also in the world of learning, expansion, growth, is that certain words pops up in your consciousness. It's like you're living life, and then life is like a story, a book, and then there are certain words that just pops up to you like bold, like capital bold, that stands out. And it's beautiful because how I see that is those are what my soul and my body is resonating with, which means those are the new areas that I get to expand into. And then in that process of expansion, of course, you start finding out more information, you start learning more about it, you start reading books, you start seeking experiences around that bold capital words. And then there is this line between your own experiences versus what you read. Personally, I like to go heads in first with experience and experiment and then read about it. I've always been that way. That's how my mechanical design, if you want to label it something, i.e. human design, that's how I function better. I'm not one that does 50 research before going to do something. And when I find myself doing that, it's my fear doing the talking. It's not really me. When I look back at my best transformation, my best oh my fucking God, it's always me just saying yes to an experience that's very edgy, but it's a clear knowing that I should go with curiosity. The reason why I share this is because when we start doing research, there's all these words that comes into our mind. And I feel like I'm in this phase where I'm exploring the nuances of words. Words are so powerful. Words is the core makeup of our voice. Whether we are actually speaking out loud or speaking through a different form of art and expression. Words, it's such a magical tool. Words, a lot of us are being trapped and held bondage by the language. I'm just gonna say English language because that's my first language, but insert whatever first language that you're using. It's actually really interesting because English is my first language, but I have also learned Mandarin since I was a child. And I remember I used to I hated it, or I was very against it when my mom and dad used to make me take Chinese language all the way until I was 18. But even though I grew up with both languages, English was very much intellectual for me, whereas Mandarin, Chinese, was very much emotional for me. I never realized that until this video. When I was deep in my healing, I was listening to a lot of Chinese music that accompanied me when I grew up. And even when I'm deep in my emotional state, sometimes I would think in Mandarin, but I can't necessarily say it out loud. That was a very fascinating realization that I never realized before. Point is, so words, a lot of us are being limited by how we were taught or how we've learned words. So it really is a construct that is holding us back. And I feel part of your healing journey, part of your realigning journey, part of your death rebirth journey is really to deconstruct words as you know it. It's like melting away the charge of what words means to you and recreate through the language of your soul and really you know, when you start writing, when you start creating poetry, it doesn't make sense, but it's like you have recreate the meaning of words and how it actually affects you. And that's how you start becoming the narrator or the creator of your story, right? And it's funny how this one was here. Something that I wrote from a book that I read that I haven't finished because there was too much words. But here is very fitting for today's video, is that the potency of words which attempt to express and explore the nature of experiences lies in the dissolving quality rather than their ability to formulate something. So that's a huge difference. It's that either you are dissolving what words means to you versus formulating something that you already know. And contemplation as an ever-deepening exploration of experiences, giving way in time to an immersion in its essence. Each new understanding dissolves the previous one, only to find itself being dissolved in time. This is exactly what I mean by the identity. It's like you're dissolving the old one as you step into a new. Only to find that this new will slowly become the old and dissolve in time, and as you step into a new version of yourself. And I'm getting better at that, but I feel like this is that deep portal that I enter every time I go through a death and rebirth, and it gets easier, just a tad easier each time, because I learn to surrender to it of like, fuck, I have to let this go. I have to let all that I've known about myself to go so that I can build myself again. And it used to be very frustrating because I'm like, fuck, I've done this before. Why am I doing it again? Because you chose growth, because you chose to live out the highest potential and fullest expression this lifetime. So growth, like nature, things are always growing. It's not up to me to decide when or whether I like it or not. So that has been a very humbling and humble experience this full moon. Back to the topic of embodiment. The reason why I go around all that is because with every word or every new thing, that's a nuance, right? And the key to really step into this growth and expansion and really live from the place of your fullest expression and from your unwavering truth is learning from the nuance, learning from the information that you've taken on, plus your own experience. And through your embodiment, and through your embodiment to me really through you experiencing it yourself, and how can you create new meaning to that word that has brought meaning to you in the first place. And so when I first embark on my feminine awakening and coming home to my feminine journey, embodiment really means connecting to my body. And back then, connecting to my body really just means dancing, embracing my sexuality, embracing my sensuality. And that was true at that time because, as someone that has operated mainly from a masculine, that is so numb and disconnected from her body, from her heart, from her senses, embodiment really just means doing anything and everything to dance, to feel myself. And then here's also part of the growth or spiritual growth and expansion journey, right? Is that our mind always think that it's a fucking destination to get to, and then you get there, you're like, fuck this. Like, you know, there's this thing that's constantly challenging how we're taught in our life. Like that's the conditioning, that's the collective narrative, and really part of growth, it's just a journey of remembering all this wisdom that you already have within you, remembering of your power, of your potential, and at the same time also dismantling any beliefs and any stories that you have taken on that is no longer aligned with the person that you are, the person that you've always meant to be, and the person that you're becoming. And so that was what embodiment means to me. And for those of you who have missed it, I wrote an article in my paid magazine subscription. It's called I'm quitting the Spiritual Olympics, which is a fucking great read for those of you who are trapped in this healing loop as a way of avoiding truly stepping into your power. That's a fucking great read. I'll link them down below, or if you're on Instagram, click on the link in bio. It takes you straight to the Heartist magazine. It's because with every new thing, like with every bold capital words that stand up to you, when you're stepping into that new reality, there's always shadow, because life exists on a spectrum. Life exists on a polarity, which means you have light and darkness, which means that new potential that you've discovered, it comes with a shadow. It comes with the dark side, because that's the law of the universe. That's the way of life. And so through that, the more, you know, like when you step into this new thing, there are something dark that you have to face. Otherwise, if you're just taking the good, it's gonna come hitting you one day. Or you're just living this. It's just a higher level of dissociation. There was a fucking hot pill that I had to swallow, because the reason why I venture into, well, not I venture, spirituality called me, like why I do the work, is so that I am no longer numbing myself. I'm no longer disconnecting myself. I'm no longer dissociating myself. That's also one of the reasons why I stopped drinking. Like I drink wine every now and then, but I stopped drinking is because I really feel disconnected, and I really feel numb and disconnected from all that I have worked on the last 3 years. So it's something that I've chosen not to. Yes, so without actually acknowledging both sides of the coin, you really are just dissociating in a higher level in the name of spirituality, living up in the woo, living up in ether, whatever it is. And with all things, again, multiple truth around that. And there are some time that you are meant to spend more time up there working through stuff. I feel that Gemini season might be calling me to work a lot more in the higher chakras and being up there, which I'm actually pretty fucking excited about, because fucking I love Taurus. I really, really, really love the Taurus energy, because it's so grounding. It's like steady. It's not like Capricorn that it feels very, and I have like fucking multiple Capricorn in my chart. Taurus feels grounded, but it feels light. Like it doesn't feel like rigid. So I'm actually very excited for Gemini, where I get to flirt up there again, you know, on the higher chakras. But the thing is, in order to truly get what you need up in the higher dimension, is that you need to be deeply rooted with who you are. It's like the tree. The deeper you are rooted to the ground, the higher you get to reach the heavens. And so really embodiment for me has taken a whole different shift and change. It has taken a whole different meaning. And that really is what life is all about. That really is what self-exploration of what seeking your truth is all about. Is that, okay, something perhaps captures your attention, and something captures your attention, and from that place, what does it really mean to you? Why are you doing that? Like, they are all questions. And I feel that in the world of information is that we just keep taking things that got our attention, but we don't actually sit with it and actually contemplate and ask ourselves, what the fuck does that mean to us? And yeah, contemplation is just an ever deepening exploration of experiences. And so I lost my train of thought for a bit. Embodiment, right. So this is what happens when you are actually speaking from flow. And then that flow just got cut because I was taking on some notes that I've written versus what I'm here to share. All right, we're just going to continue as to, right, the meaning of whatever it is that you're doing. And for me, it is the meaning of embodiment. Before that, it felt like this massive thing, like this massive ecstatic dance. I still do that. But what embodiment means to me now, it's all about getting out of your head into your body, right? But what I didn't realize was that was only, I was holding that notion in the context of when I'm doing dance, when I'm in my feminine expression. But what embodiment really is how can you get out of your mind into your body at every present moment? Because when you get out of your head into your body, that's when you get into full body presence. And full body presence really is how we access God, how we access all that is, how we access the solution that we truly desire. And from that space, you get your solutions, you get whatever it is that your feelings, your emotions, whatever. But here's something that I shared over the weekend, actually. So as an embodied being, as a multi-dimensional embodied being, we all embarked on the path of spirituality is so that we can transcend the lower chakras and work with the higher chakras. And what is holding us back is our body. It's this physical body from us to access that higher source of consciousness. But here is the paradox of life. One thing you learn is that as you truly must become a practitioner, when you truly master what spirituality and embody what it means and really living your wisdom, is that life is one motherfucking paradox. That when you want to live the life of non-duality, it's a motherfucking paradox. And that the more truth that you can hold, the darker your shadow goes. And that brings me back to my point of why people like to sit or go up in the ether. Because imagine you only have one path, following 9 to 5, get a house, build a family, that's it. And then people get, and then there's this whole new paradigm of freedom. Freedom means choices. Freedom means I have now infinite options, infinite possibilities, which is great. I also talk about that in the post of why I'm quitting the spiritual Olympics. I touch on this topic a little bit as well, is that options. But it is true that we have infinite possibilities, but it doesn't mean that we are just allowing ourselves to get lost in these infinite possibilities without grounding with ourselves, because that becomes a new form of avoidance. And I feel that that's essentially how we're all having an open relationship and a polyamorous relationship with life, with relationships, is because we are avoiding commitment. We're avoiding choosing because we are afraid to choose. We are constantly wanting to be in that shiny object loop for that temporary pleasure, for the temporary feel-good feeling that we have. I wrote about this around depth, on how depth is not experienced or found in the seeking. Depth is found in the here and your ability to venture deeper. And we'll go into that on a separate video. But what it is that, where am I going in this again? Okay, I'm back. So our body is it's what's holding us back from really, okay. So in our attempt of returning back to source, of us coming home to our soul and allow our soul to return back to source, our body is what's holding us back. But our body is also the bridge that takes us up there. And most importantly, once we have accessed these infinite possibilities, once we have access to all these cosmic information, how you store your box, the information of this, your body is that cosmic library. You can channel. Channel is easy. As much as people think channeling is easy, feel safe enough, maybe some psychedelics, plant medicine takes you up there. And how you bring it down here, how you integrate it to your physical, is what truly matters. And to bring it back through your body. And so when you have access to this higher frequency, as you're bringing back, can your body hold this frequency? And this is why purging, detoxing, letting go, releasing through somatic experiencing, through plant medicine, through different form of work, through detoxing, clearing your body so that it is able to hold that higher frequency. And this is why now whenever I feel unwell, I'm like, okay, my body is going through a massive fucking spiritual upgrade. And when this higher frequency or light energy wants to flow through you from the ether back down, the pain, the discomfort that you feel are the lower heavy energies. They are the resistance. They are what is holding you back from really embodying this light energy. Because this light energy, you can have all this channel, doesn't mean shit if you can't apply it into your real life. And then you get into this whole point of just constantly channeling, and it's just basically, instead of reading a book, you're just taking the information from God. And what are you going to do with that? Eventually, you're going to go crazy with this information, because as human beings, as someone, the reason why you are having this is so that you can integrate it into your life, so that you can fulfill your purpose this lifetime. Like, trust me, I can speak about this because, you know, when you first have this, you know, when you first open your eyes up to all these possibilities, to seeing all these things between different dimensions, it's fucking exciting. I'm like, oh my God. And then all you want to do is just to be at peace and to just not be around humans and just be in your space and just, you know, getting access to that. And it's fine. And I feel that the last 2 years has truly been a blessing for me and a gift to be able to access all these that takes people years or even decades to access. And I accessed this in like a year to 2 years or year and a half. But everything comes with a price, because having access to all these gifts in such a short amount of time, it's like my body goes, how the fuck do I function in real life? How the fuck do I actually walk in the physical life? And, you know, I feel that one thing from my own experience is that there are moments where I'm like, I'm just meant to live in the jungle, and it's just still true. Like you can probably hear the birds because I'm not using speaker devices. But also there's part of me that like I'm not born in the jungle. Like I have this information so that I can share it out with the world. And so if I'm not meant to live in the jungle, like the curanderas, like the shamans, means that I have to learn how to integrate this into my day-to-day life. That's it. And that has really redefined what embodiment really means to me, because it comes a point where you are actually so in flow, like literally so in flow. And some of the crazy moments that I've had. So I was doing a massive reflection yesterday in the last 2 years, because I feel like it's a massive chapter that's closed. And it's that grieving, it's that, you know, celebration process. And I don't think I've given Bali the gratitude of what a gift it has been the last 2 years, despite facing some of my deepest shadows. It truly is a gift, because it really created the space for me to go deep into all these areas. And now it's the season of like fucking bring this to the world. And that also is why I wrote the article about I'm quitting my spiritual Olympics, which you should all check out. It's in Harta's magazine subscription. I'll link them down below. That really has redefined what embodiment means to me, is because I am living in this flow state. It's actually not flow state, because when you're on flow state, you're actually really grounded. I am on this flow state, like I actually don't even remember what happens a day ago, which is really good. I mean, I still don't, because when you don't remember, it means you're actually in flow and you're living fully in the present moment. But what that has led to is I have almost forgotten what I'm here to do as a human being, what I want to experience on the physical, what I want to do besides going deep into inner journey, besides finding more things to heal, versus actually fucking stepping up and sharing my gifts, like me making this video. You know, I feel that it's all in due time, because now being able to deliver it or being able to express it with more, like being able to articulate them versus, you know, just bits and pieces, is because I have gone around the full circle. But I have been avoiding speaking about this, because for most of you, or some of you who have watched this, probably go like, what the fuck is she on about? But also there are so many people that have similar experiences that couldn't find the words to express what they feel. And I feel that that is consistently showing up as on my journey, is that nobody gets me, and like, fuck, what is this? And one of the codes of embodiment that I have is to really trust that my experiences are valid. And these codes of embodiment is available inside the Creatrix codes. Essentially is for women who are coming home to their power through the feminine, awakening, liberating themselves from their sexuality and activating your different feminine archetype potential. So that's a program and experience that you should really get on board if that's your journey. I'll link them down below as well. Is that I trust my experience is valid, because I spent a year rejecting my experience, talking to everyone about it, hoping that someone would validate me. And then as I share that dilutes the potency of what I've learned, because 99.9% of the people don't get my experience and probably think like you're on too much crack. And also finding out that I was manifesting human design and also understanding my chart means I know I'm meant to just do this shit and people would catch up a lot later. Accepted that I'm the trendsetter, that I'm meant to create before it's acceptable. Owning that shit, I noticed that some of y'all that is drawn to this video 6 months from now, so we're in May 17, 2022. Whenever it is that you're like, oh, she talked about it, I thought she was crazy, and now I finally get it because I've seen that over and over again. And if you're a manifestor, welcome. Best part about truly embracing and actually living as a manifestor is just accept that you're crazy is the normal, and it is what it is, and you just gotta own that. You just gotta speak it, and speaking your truth is not something that you get straight in one go. You truly find your voice and speak your truth by constantly opening up over and over again. So if you're a manifestor and you are lost as fuck as to how the fuck do I even navigate this, I have 3 separate programs that might exist that is here to guide you through different journey. I have the Manifestor Magic Bundle, which is for people that literally just found out I'm a manifestor, now what? So it's very straightforward. And then we have the Manifestor Magic Portal, which is the remembrance, which is, we talk about all the jargons of, what it means to inform, what it means to initiate, all this jazz. And we also have 4 or 5 modules on really tapping into your essence, into your gifts, and knowing that your gifts are your revolution. The most important module in that program is how do you integrate human design into your life, relationship, and business. So if that's calling you, link is in bio, or if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, link below. If you're on Instagram, link in bio. And the best work that I have channeled and practiced the whole of last year that has brought me here to where I am is manifestorizing. This is really going deep into the multi-dimensional potential as a manifestor, where I debunked and unsubscribed to some of the roles and human design of what Ra has taught through my own personal experience. And also this is a walking example of how just because you've learned some information, if it conflicts with your own personal experience, your personal experience always wins. And then to avoid you being like a complete asshole of just going, my experience is valid, it also comes with deep contemplation. It comes with discernment. It comes with being fucking honest in really facing the core of your own being and actually questioning yourself. Because don't be one of those dickheads that just goes, I've learned this, God told me, and then just have zero regards to the opinions of other people. And if you are here to master your energetics as a manifestor, to truly understand what it means to really be the leader that you're here to be, and stop fucking blaming the generators and actually start seeing what is your role here to play in dismantling the patriarch conditioning that has taken over us for years, thousands of years, and how to really work with your open sacred, with your sexual energy and all that good shit. Manifestorizing is the shit. So to sum up what embodiment really means to me now is that really constantly dropping in and checking with my body and really breathing into my root chakra. And I know all of you guys probably go, stop fucking telling me to breathe already. I get you. Avoided breath work throughout my journey. I mean, breath is part of what I teach in my embodied experience, but just breath. Just breath. And fucking avoiding it for the longest time, but it becomes so clear that breath is my medicine this season of my life. Even quit tobacco, quit rape, it literally just spilled out in my bag one day, and that's it. Right, gotcha. My time is up for now. Like really, my breath is my anchor. Because it requires me to breathe in and feel deep into my own body. And for this moment, a lot of my breath meditation is focusing on the root chakra, because I've already like downloaded a whole possibility of what I want to create. It's already created in the ether. And to bring it back is for me to be really grounded. So my breathing is diaphragmatic breathing, which is what we did at the start of this video. If you actually followed that breathing exercise, to breathe into your belly and focus the energy into the belly, your root chakra. And I feel like there's something else that I want to say. There was one last thing. Yes, and what I have been called again is to deepen my sensuality practice, because sensuality is such a feminine grounding practice. Because you know how when you think about sex, there is this chemistry, like, ooh, like that, that. And then you have that really soft, teasing, push and pull play. I have no problem with that wild charge Scorpio. Sexual wild woman. It's great. It has really served me. It's part of me. But there's something about deepened sensuality, about slow and soft movements. It's that spaciousness you create in between each moment, and the ability to hold in that stillness, in that spaciousness, so that life gets to happen to you, so that your beloved gets to respond to what you want. So grounded sensuality practice. I actually have a guidebook for that, but I haven't put it up. So if that's what you want, send me a DM, and then I'll get my team to actually get it running. But I feel that in a couple of weeks' time, that would also be available in the link in bio. So I guess this might be the return of my podcast, because, you know, I'm all about sharing the wisdom across all different channels. And yeah, it probably is, you know, it is what it is. That's how I flow. And also, in all seriousness, have a range of offerings to really help you understand deeper, in guiding you deeper into your own journey, whether it's your feminine awakening, whether it's your sexual awakening, whether it's going deep into your shadow, or just you need some activation, shamanic inner journeying, or like meditations to guide you. I'll leave all of them down in the link below. And if you have any questions at all, put them down in the comments. And if you would like to work together on a one-on-one basis, I am working with impact-driven entrepreneurs and leaders who are truly stepping into their creativity, who are stepping into creative leadership, who are really learning how to embody and bring the ancient wisdom of what they have gone through in their own journey, integrating that into the work that they do. So if that's you, send me an email or a DM on Instagram and let's have a chat. This is an 8-month mentorship, because, you know, a big thing that I've cleared this Scorpio season is I don't tolerate any more fuckboy energy. And I feel that to create long-term lasting impact, to really tap into your voice and your creativity, it requires the work, it requires the time. And if it's not for you at this moment, completely fine. But if you know that this is it, send me a message and let's have a chat. Thank you for tuning in. Your girl is back, so expect more videos. Bye for now. Also, that's my new backdrop. How fucking dope is that? I feel like, all right, it's bye for real now.